Hello and welcome to the music show. My name is Walt Ribeiro, and this week I'm going to be showing everyone how to read bass on piano. Last week we touched upon the treble clef. This week we're going to be touching upon the bass clef. So what the two do is that the treble clef is for higher pitches, bass clef is for lower pitches. Okay, so now we're just going to real quick go over the notes on the bass for those that don't know, and then we're going to go look at how they line up on the piano. So real quick, notes on the bass go starting with this first space underneath the first line is F. So it goes up every letter. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And if you wanted to count it by just the lines, it goes G, B, D, F, A. Okay? And for the spaces, it goes F, A, C, E, G. And so here what I have is that I've simply combined both the treble clef and the bass clef. So now, as music gets higher, you can see that it starts to get into the treble clef, and that as music gets lower in bass, it goes into the bass clef. So now how this all works is that there's this note in the middle between the two clefs that's referred to as middle C. And it's called that because it's literally in the middle of both clefs. And so when you're playing piano, what happens is that the bass clef is usually referring to what you do with your left hand, and your right hand is being told what to do by reading the treble clef. So I'm going to put right here RH for right hand, LH for left hand, and remember this is for piano. So now, last week in how to read music, I touched upon how every line and every note is a different pitch. Okay, so now here we have a piano that I'm not going to hold up the whole time. It's a little heavy, but right here are the notes here, and here's middle C. Okay, so the notes below it are in bass clef. The notes above it are in treble clef. All right. So now rather than holding it up, just imagine that, and I drew it on the board. So here you have the notes, and like that you would play the piano. So here's middle C. All right, let's say this is middle C here, which would be right in the middle of the piano here. Okay? So we have this middle C here, and every note above it and below it is going to be one letter without the sharps and flats, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But here we have the notes going up and going down. It's the same. Everything just goes down. F, E, D, C, and then B. So now, how does this work? Well, here's your middle C here, which is right here. Okay? These are the same note. This is how you would play it. This is how you would read it. All right? Now, if I'm going to go down to this B, it's the same as me reading it going down to this B. And then there's your A, then there's your G, F, E, D, C, B, and then keeps going down. Now these black notes don't really wear out them. That's something different. But just for now, that's the concept of reading notes on treble and bass. What I like to do, just a quick little trick, is that I always go by the middle line. So for example, in treble clef, right here, in treble clef, the middle line is B, and then I find every note from where that B is. In bass clef, the middle line is D, right there. And so I find every subsequent pitch off of that D. So if I go one up from that D, it's going to be E. If I go one below that D, it's C. If I go three up, it's G. And so on, D, E, F, G. Okay, so now real quick, I want to talk about what we refer to as octaves. O-C-T-A-V-E-S, octaves. What octaves are is that the pitch C, and I'm going to base everything off C because it's easy, is that the pitch C repeats over and over again throughout a piano. This obviously doesn't show it, but let me show you through this. You have here's C, okay? Here's C. It repeats over and over again all throughout the piano, okay? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 octaves on this keyboard, and so what that's telling you is that every time that you look at the keyboard, you'll notice that there's 3 black keys and that there's 2 black keys, and it follows that pattern: 1, 2, 3, and then if this were to continue, it would have 1, 2. Okay, so here's 2, 3 black keys, 1, 2, 3, 2 more, and then of course 1, 2, 3 again. Okay, and then that's how you know where the notes are. So where's C here? Well, C is the note to the left of the 2 black keys. F is the first note to the left of the 3 black keys. And then if you wanted to connect, you would have C, D, E, F. Okay? So now, what I want to do, now that we know that, the octave of this C, an octave down would be this C. And an octave up would be, if I were to continue, it would be that C. Okay? So now here's the octaves. C, 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 and then so on. So, here we have, this note here is middle C. Remember, that's middle C. And it doesn't have to, you know, it could be a half note. By the way, if you don't know what the notes are, just go back to my first video, which is called How to Read Music, and that goes over all the notes. So, real quick, here's your chord notes, here's your whole notes, half notes, and then might as well put a stem to make it a quarter note. So now here you have E, okay? And just remember my trick. I always go by the middle note. On the bass clef, that's D. So if I'm going 1 up, then I know it's E. Here I'm going 1 down from D, and so this is C. Now, this brings up a good point. This C is 1 octave. This C is right here, by the way. Okay? If I go 1 octave up to this C, I'm going 1 octave up playing it. That's a lot of scribbling. So now here you have 1 octave span from this C to this C, and a 1 octave span from this C to this C. So that if you were to walk up, you have C. If there were supposed to be, if you walk up notes here all the way up, you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then there's your C. Okay? So now that's where the notes line up on the piano. And that the way that you would read it is that every note tells you, the way that the note actually looks, tells you how long you hold the note. Just remember that. So this right here is a half note, which tells you to hold it out for 2 beats. And it's an A. The way that I know that it's an A is because remember, the notes on the spaces go F, A, C, E. And if I were to walk up, you would have F, G would be the line, and then the next space would be A. So F, G, A. And so if that half note were here, that would be telling me, the piano player, on my left hand, hold the note B out for 2 beats.